Hello, I'm Bronwyn, Coordinator of Cultural Services for Scenic Rim Regional Council.
Hi, my name is Mark. I am the Cultural Projects Officer focusing on public art at RADF and working on the Arts Ablaze program with Bronwyn. Bronwyn, can you just a bit more about what Art Ablaze is and how it's come about?
Okay, so Arts Ablaze is a 3-day conference about regional art in Queensland, and it's followed by a 2-day celebration of regional art. Scenic Rim hosted the Art Speak Regional Arts Conference in 2009, and these were a regular occurrence up until 2013, and there's been no regional arts conferences or gatherings since that time. So it was really timely that we were able to apply for some funding to host this first regional arts conference since 2013 here in the Scenic Rim.
Can you tell us a bit more about how we can get involved in Arts Ablaze, the conference, as well as this celebrations?
Oh, there's lots of ways. We'll be calling from expressions of interest for the artistic program, presenters, site activations, mentors, and projects for the big pitch area. And they'll be available online to fill in the submission forms from the 15th of March. That's when we're launching that online expressions of interest process. But you can actually go to the website now and see all the questions for each of those criteria, so you can start preparing your pitch or your presentation. For workshops and for market stall holders, VADCAP, who will be managing that process, so there'll be a link on the website where you can get in contact with them, and they'll pass on the information that you require to submit a proposal for a workshop or for having a market stall. And the market stalls will happen from the Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So they'll come in on the Friday night and leave on the Sunday afternoon. The workshops, most of them will be Friday, Saturday and Sunday, but there might be a couple of opportunities for during the conference as well. And they already have some local workshops, but they're looking for workshop presenters from across Queensland as well. The volunteer process, if you want to volunteer to be part of Arts Ablaze, that will open now and will close around August, and applications and more info on that can be found at our Live at the Centre website.
Bronwyn, can you tell us about where Arts Ablaze is going to be held and when, so people know?
Okay, so the conference part, the 3 days, is the Wednesday the 2nd, 3rd and 4th of October, and the celebrations will start in the evening, probably about 4 or 5 o'clock on the Friday the 4th, and continue Saturday the 5th and Sunday the 6th. It's being held on the grounds of the Ramada Resort at Kooralbyn Valley. So that's where all the activations will be happening in and around Kooralbyn Resort.
So for people who are new to the area, where is Kooralbyn basically, and why do we pick Kooralbyn? What's so interesting about this space?
Yeah, it's a really interesting space. It's typical to a lot of places in Queensland. It's had its amazing heyday, and then life has changed, and it's going through a bit of a resurgence, and it's a re-identification. It's also, there's a big community that it's built up around the Kooralbyn Resort, and Kooralbyn is actually right in the heart of the Scenic Rim, so it's kind of a logical place so that all our Scenic Rim residents can come to the heart, if you like, of the Scenic Rim. It's also only 15 minutes from Beaudesert, and it's about just over an hour from the Gold Coast and from Brisbane. Plus, it's because of its facilities, it's the best suited for having a conference of this size. It has the 100 odd rooms at the resort, plus campgrounds that we will be able to utilise during that time.
Right. Bronwyn, with the Arts Ablaze, does it have a theme, and how did that theme come about, and what will it include?
Yeah, it was important for us to be the voice of regional Queensland, so we developed a survey that was distributed across Queensland, and we also held a 2-day planning session at Kooralbyn in November last year with representatives from across Queensland's art sector and local artists, Indigenous, local elders, young people, so a really good representation of what our region feels about the arts, but also a snapshot of the sort of concerns of the state. So out of that facilitated planning session and the feedback from the survey came the theme of transforming regional communities and arts practice through access, attitudes, people and place. And there's a whole raft of principles underneath those, and people can actually go to the website and actually see those in detail. You asked me what it's going to include. We are looking at some fantastic inspirational keynote speakers, but there'll be panel discussions, workshops on arts projects, as well as visual art and performance workshops. There's going to be a space called the Big Pitch, where people can actually showcase the projects they've done from around Queensland or how art has changed their community or their life. There'll also be a one-day art tour session, so venues will be able to come along and see product from around the state, and particularly for those things that are better for touring or small shows that are less, that are more accessible. So there'll be that. There'll be a lot of stuff around story sharing in the people part of it. It was that if we shared each other's stories, then we had a better understanding and more tolerant, compassionate communities. There'll be interactive, ephemeral and sculptural works, industry displays, weaving, touring exhibitions. There'll also be a welcome cocktail event at one of our significant historical sites called Brompton House. There'll be an arts dinner, which will be the conference dinner. There'll be debates, mentoring sessions. We've built a lot of stuff around partnering people with leaders in the arts sector, and sculptural trades and much more. That's part of the conference anyway.
Roman, earlier you mentioned that there's going to be the conference as well as a celebration aspect to the program of Arts Ablaze. Can you tell us a bit more about that community celebration event?
So the celebration will kick off from the Friday afternoon. It will be free and open to everybody to attend. It will have night markets, food trucks, big display about Eat Local, and some of our local producers will be there. There'll be makers markets, there'll be workshops over the 2 days. There'll also be performances, roving, theatre, music, film screenings happening all weekend. So and that will finish on the Sunday afternoon of the 6th.
Thank you. Who will be attending the Arts Ablaze conference?
I think it's going to be really interesting because delegates, it looks like they're going to be coming from all over Queensland. So there'll be people from the Indigenous communities. We have an exhibition that's coming down from Yarrabah. We've got in Queensland now we have the regional service network. So we've got, it's been divided into various parts, regional parts of Queensland. So we've got delegates that'll be coming as part of that regional service network. We'll be appealing to RADF committees and local government workers or cultural workers or community development workers to attend. We'll be looking at people coming from all the peak arts agencies who service regional Queensland. We're looking for anybody to attend who has an interest in how do we build stronger communities right across Queensland, and of course the arts is integral to building our community capacity. So it'll be a mixed bag, it'll be really interesting, and of course we'll have the presenters as well as the keynote speakers and the workshop presenters. We'll have people who are talking about their projects that they've done in regional communities all over Queensland. So it'll be really interesting, great place to meet people.
Thank you. I'm going to attend the celebration part of Arts Ablaze.
Well, as I said before, it's open to everybody. So anybody in the Scenic Rim, anybody in the southeast Queensland region. If you have a plane, you can fly into Kooralbyn if you want to organise that with the Kooralbyn Resort. There'll be a range of accommodation options at Kooralbyn in terms of the resort, including a proposed camping grounds where we'll have Tent City setting up camping grounds, but you'll also be able to have the option to bring your tent. And it kicks off on the Friday night, so it's Friday night, Saturday and Sunday. So it's a really nice option on the long weekend. It's because it's at the heart of the Scenic Rim, it's a great place to start off on a bit of a long weekend, because the Monday is a long weekend, to explore all the wonderful sites around the Scenic Rim. So it's open to everybody, and it's certainly open to families and children. There'll be a children's program at the conference, so there'll be something for everybody to come along at Arts Ablaze.
Can you tell us why it's been great for us to attend this conference?
Well, this is not just another conference or festival. Arts Ablaze will be a reflection of the Queensland arts scene. Your voice is important. Your contribution is important and central to our objectives of transformation of attitudes, access, people and place. Whether you're an artist, a crafter, a market stall holder, whether you're part of a peak arts organisation, with any field that works and touches with community or culture, here's an opportunity to come together with other people across Queensland and have your say and feed off each other in terms of ideas and inspiration. If we truly want change in our lives, we have to be part of that solution. So I challenge you to attend.
Robin, as this is not just a Scenic Rim event, it's a statewide Queensland event, how are we going to promote that so other areas can find out a bit about Arts Ablaze?
I think that's a really important question. We're working with Agentry, who have done a lot of work with peak arts organisations across Australia. And they are working on a marketing plan which is including social media and also information that goes out to various networks right across Queensland. And they'll be creating briefing documents that go to all those regional arts service network offices around Queensland so they can in turn talk to their local media and their networks and be able to tell them about the opportunities for their artists and their communities to attend Arts Ablaze. So we'll also have we're working with Feral Arts through the Arts Front website. They're creating a web presence for us, and it will be via the domain name of artsablaze.com.au. And you'll be able to access from the 15th of March the online forms to submit for your expressions of interest. There will be from now all the information you need that goes into those expressions of interest, but the actual forms will be ready on the 15th. So we've got various ways of communicating our message, but we've also got some really interesting partnerships. We've got a partnership with Central Queensland University, and they have campuses across Australia with a significant amount in regional Queensland. So all those students are open to participating in the project. They'll be live streaming some of the information that comes at the conference. They'll also be helping us with making some promo videos and things and pushing that out through social media. So we think we're actually doing our best on a very low budget to actually get the word out, really working on that word of mouth information.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how the program for Arts Ablaze is being designed?
Okay, the external working party is shaping the program of Arts Ablaze, and they include representatives from Flying Arts, Stage Queensland, Art Tour, Central Queensland University, the State Coordination Office for Regional Arts Service Delivery, Feral Arts and Arts Front, the Regional Arts Service Networks, representatives from across Queensland, local Indigenous elders, Black Dance, Creative Recovery Network, Wairaka, South East Queensland Cultural Workers Network, Go Track Theatre Company, Beaudesert and District Community Arts Project, and Scenic Rim Regional Council. All these people will be coming together at the end of April to have a look at the expression of interest submissions, and we'll actually be selecting the program from that against the criteria of how does it fit the transformation of access attitudes people in place. So it's a very democratic process, and we're trying to be as inclusive as possible.
It's such an extensive program. Can you tell us a bit more about our funding partners for Arts Ablaze?
This can only happen with a number of partnerships, and of course the chief one was the funding that we received from the Australian Government through the Building Better Regions Fund, and also funding through Scenic Rim Regional Council. Arts Ablaze is also proudly supported by the Regional Arts Service Network, an initiative of the Australian Government through Arts Queensland, and the Regional Arts Development Fund, a partnership between Queensland Government and the Scenic Rim Regional Council to support local arts and culture in regional Queensland. But we also have a very strong partnership with Central Queensland University and the Ramada Resort Kooralbyn Valley. So we've got, as I mentioned, an incredible working party who are also contributing significant time and energy and looking at different ways that they can help people come to attend the conference from all over Queensland. So we'll be launching updates about all those different opportunities as things roll on. So we're very proud of the level of collaboration and support that we've had from all levels of government and the arts sector across Queensland. It's fantastic.
Thanks very much. Sounds like an exciting adventure.
I'm looking forward to it.